I think for us, the hardest part was actually picking the venue. Do we do a wedding in Scotland? Do we do a wedding here in Australia? Or do we find somewhere in the middle? So we're like, kilt in the summertime, if it's outside and if it's stinking hot, like not comfortable for anyone. Because I was never going to do a winter wedding. You know
really?
Yeah.
No. You're a bit of a sun bunny,
I'm a
aren't
sun
you?
bunny. I would not do a winter wedding, no.
So you're engaged. Choosing a wedding venue and where to host your wedding? It's easy, right? Not so. It can be super, super complicated, particularly if you've got people based all over the world. Fiance from Scotland, bride from Australia, and family in another country. In today's episode, we dig deep into Shonali's choice of a wedding venue. It's a great one. Stay tuned and enjoy the journey. So it's 2023, you're engaged.
Yes.
All right, so returning to the salon as an engaged woman.
Yes.
Did you feel different? Did you suddenly go, oh, hang on, this has got a different meaning to me now versus it being, you know, a great profession?
Yeah. It's funny. I think, like I said, if I'm truly being honest, it actually took me a while to realize, okay, I'm engaged.
Yep.
So I think like when I came back, it was all this excitement. You're like, ooh, exciting. But I think for me personally, like deep down, it just felt normal. Like it just felt like an everyday. And I don't know whether it is because we're in the industry and you kind of are surrounded by amazing like wedding stories and brides and all of that it feels strange. I'm always looking at it from the outside in, you know, I always meet the brides.
Yeah.
So I think it took me a little while to go, oh, actually, that's me.
Yeah.
When I first came back, I think I was probably still on a high of, oh my God, did this just happen?
Yeah.
Is this happening? But I think once it all settled, I was like, all right. Like when we started talking about the wedding is when I was like, okay, I'm a bride.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Because I've seen when you've been in consult with the brides that it's great that you're able to have that interaction.
Yeah.
And you know, true empathy around the concept of there's so much to do and there's so much to consider.
Yeah.
And now you're in the zone. You're in the married zone.
Wedding planning mode.
Yeah. Has it helped you with the brides, do you think? Just in terms of, you're both in the same camp?
Yeah, I think so. And I feel like I can, because we obviously with the dress, it's something as I've done this for a very long time.
Yeah.
So coming up to 10 years, I've done this. So I think it's interesting because I always see our brides in that small part of it, which is the dress moment.
Yeah.
And I think I can now empathize with there's so much more other things around that, which is, you know, you're booking the venues, your vendors, even just, I guess, the emotional feeling of, okay, like you're planning this special moment and special day, and it's a lot of things piecing together to come in. It's not just the dress, you know.
Yes,
I mean, the dress is a
absolutely.
really pivotal moment of wearing something so special, but I think it's putting into perspective of, okay, but it's the day that you're celebrating with the person you love. So I feel like I can empathize with that now with our brides to kind of go, all right, I know what it means when you're, you know, getting multiple emails from vendors and, you know, it's a full-time job, I reckon, wedding planning.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Because we've heard that, haven't we? That in addition, they say it is. Wow! If I'd known, or I didn't know, how immense it was.
Yeah, it's a lot in a nice way, but there's so much that you've got to think about that you don't really know until you're immersed in it. Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. So in terms of your decision, so we know that's Andy's from.
Yeah, so he's from Scotland.
Scotland,
is Scottish.
And your family are in Australia, but you've got obviously your heritage and links to Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're getting married in Sri Lanka, how did you guys? Because you've got three options,
Yeah,
really.
we did.
Yeah.
When we were planning, so I think for us the hardest part was actually picking the venue. And I think once we locked that in is when everything kind of started to come together, because we were tossing up between, do we do a wedding in Scotland? Do we do a wedding here in Australia? Or do we find somewhere in the middle? We even threw Italy in the mix because we got engaged in Italy. So we're like, do we go there? And I actually found it quite overwhelming, surprisingly, to kind of go, all right, where am I going? Because there are 4 different vibes or 3 different vibes. And I think we just sort of came together and we're like, let's just go in the middle. And middle happened to be Sri Lanka, which was perfect because I've got family there.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's still sentimental, it's still really special. And then Andy's side of the family, he's never, none of his friends or family have been to Sri Lanka before. So we thought that could be a really nice, middle ground. And for us, we're big travelers. We love traveling and we love sort of seeing the world. And it would feel like us to do a destination wedding. Yeah. So it kind of was all of those little things, and we just went, just do it. Yeah. And Sri Lanka became
the one. Because you did consider Scotland, didn't you?
Yeah, we considered Scotland as well. So we went to Scotland because we go once every year to go and visit his family, and we've been in wedding season. So literally, the last few...
You're in that age group now.
Yeah, literally the last few years that I've been travelling has been for weddings.
Yep.
So when we went over to Scotland, we had a look at the different venues. And it could have easily been there. I think we were just sort of going off a whole bunch of different things. Budgeting, logistics, convenience, that kind of thing. So everything kind of played into the decision, and we just thought, in our minds, we went, doesn't matter where we are though, really, as long as we have
each other
and the people that we love, our closest people, it doesn't matter where we do it, it's going to be amazing.
Absolutely. But interestingly enough, if you're looking a January wedding in Scotland would have been very, very different atmospherically
100%.
To Sri Lanka, and even compared to Australia. I mean, I suppose Australia and Sri Lanka would be because of the weather. Yeah. But
I think that's why timing-wise it came into play too, because if it was going to be in Scotland, it would have been in summer, so it would have been sort of July, August. So to give us a little bit more time, that kind of, because I was never going to do a winter wedding. You know
really?
No.
You're a bit of a sun bunny, aren't you?
Sun bunny. I would not do a winter wedding, no.
Yeah.
Purely because I just get cold.
And just with the timing, so you get married, you got engaged in 23.
23, yep.
How did you decide to wait a year? What was it? How long have you waited? A year and a bit?
It's now, it'll be a year two and a bit years. Yeah. Funny because it doesn't feel like that. It was more for us to go, we didn't want to feel rushed.
Yep.
We wanted to just be present with, my brother's wedding, all of our closest friends' weddings. So I think that's where the Jan 2026 came in, because we're like, but because we're asking a lot of people to travel, we also wanted to give people enough notice to save and plan and book their holidays and all of that kind of stuff. And then for us, it would be enough time to feel like we're not rushing it and enjoy the process.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's sort of where it came for Jan 2026.
Yeah. So in Sri Lanka, how many venues did you talk to before and have you been to the venue that you've chosen?
Yes. So went there. So when we just got engaged, actually 2019, we ended up going to Sri Lanka for a little holiday. And it was then that we did the personal scouting. I reckon we looked at about 6 different venues, but they were all different. So we had some in Colombo, which was the city, and then we also looked at the beachy area, we knew we were more beachy people, but we wanted to explore all options while we were there. Yeah. About 6 or 7 venues we looked at, and this one sort of was the nice blend of both. So we always thought we wanted an outdoor wedding, but with Sri Lanka, it's tropical. The weather it's unpredictable. Yeah. Andy being Scottish, he's going to wear a kilt. So we were
absolutely.
So we're like, kilt in the summertime, if it's outside and if it's stinking hot, not comfortable for anyone. Yeah. So, and in my mind, because I love the sun, so I'm like, oh, this is fabulous.
You'll be chilling.
I was loving it. I'm like, oh, this heat is lovely. But then when Andy went there, he was like, no, this is too hot. This is going to be comfortable if he's in shorts and a shirt, but if he's going to be in his full get up, it's too much.
Will he change, do you think?
No, I proposed the idea. Yeah. I said, why don't you just wear the kilt for the ceremony part? Yeah. And then you can always get changed into a nice linen suit for later. And he was like, nah, if I'm doing it, I'm just going to just do it. And he's like,
I'm a Scot and I'm
going to do it all. And he's like, a kilt's easy, but he's like, it's actually light. It's just the jacket and everything. So he's like, once that comes off, it'll be fine. Yeah. So, so I think it was, we found the venue purely because it kind of ticked most of the boxes. Okay. So it was easy. I didn't want to stress about weather. I didn't want to think about if it's going to be raining, what's my plan B. So all inside, but we still get to have our beachy outdoor photos and stuff.
Yeah.
Which would be nice.
No, that's great. And with the venue that you've chosen, because it is an overseas wedding, and as we know, there's so much going on even for local weddings.
Yeah.
How have you sourced like florists and thought about entertainment? How have you gone about that?
That's I've been really lucky, I would say, because I have family.
Yes.
You know, on ground, and one of my uncles, he's actually an event planner.
Oh,
so he's, and like in Sri Lanka, everyone knows everyone. So like my family know people, so they're like, oh, okay, maybe you can use these guys, you can use that. So vendor list, I did a lot of like research on Instagram.
Yeah.
So that's where I've used a lot of my inspo from, just to kind of get to see a little bit about them, but they were recommended to me by my family and stuff. So I've just sort of let them run with it. I am planning on getting a wedding planner, which I would definitely highly recommend if anyone's doing an overseas wedding. Yeah. To do one.
Just to have someone on the ground there.
Just to have someone on the ground to chat to. And like I said, with time difference, granted Sri Lanka's not that bad. It's only like 5.5 hours, but still, it's just good to have someone on the ground. So for me, I'm just lucky that I have family that do events. So they're kind of my wedding planner from now till the day, but on the day I don't want them to fuss about it, so I'll get like a coordinator for that. So that's how I've sourced the vendors, just through them and just emails, contacts. It's been hard. It's been obviously trickier than if it was here. I'd easily be able to pick up the phone and go call. Yes. So it's a lot of waiting. Everyone's very chilled out in Sri Lanka. Very relaxed. So
I'll get back to that.
I'll get back to you in a week.
So when you thought of a January wedding date, with the option of winter being in Scotland and summer in Sri Lanka, how did you make your choice, and what do you think the differences would have been for the two different types of season, really?
Yeah, I mean, vast. It'd be different. I think for summer, I mean, for us personally, me, I am a summer baby, so I do love the heat, love the summer. I think if I'm going with that summer wedding, something that I would really consider is something very light, really easy to wear, you know, if I'm thinking about the day, because unless I'm planning on wearing 2 dresses, which I might, because I do have a traditional outfit that I do want to wear as well. That's something to take into, I'm a comfort girl, so summer, it's just light, easy to wear. I think winter, because I do get very cold in the winter, I would be open to big layers, like, so I would stay warm. But I think the winter wedding would be a bit more, like you said, gloomy, moody, really sort of that dark, especially if it was going to be in Scotland. It's raining like half the time. So,
and I always think of Scotland as castles, and I think of burgundy and dark wood and fireplaces and great anecdotes.
Very much so. I think the
laughter
vibe,
and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And the vibe would have been really different. And I think that's also why I sort of wanted to wait for the venue to then start going on the dress journey, because I think I would have been 2 different brides if I was doing a Scottish wedding. Absolutely, because it's very like antique, very old worldly, like you said, castle. It would have been very much that kind of old worldly vibe.
Yeah, but cozy.
Cozy, yes.
Yeah, the concept of cozy is
whiskey sour.
Yeah,
something really warm and cozy. Whereas when it's summer, or say Sri Lanka, it's very tropical, so it's light. You know, you're thinking colour, you're thinking sun, you're thinking just relax.
Yeah. So you could have gone for both, but I think, as you say, you're a sunshine girl. Yeah. And I mean, we see it when you smile as well. You're a sunshine girl. Yeah, the nice glow that ties in with your personalities as well. Yeah. Because Andy's so buoyant and bright as well. Yeah. Scottish boy, but you know, he's so buoyant and bright that it seems that you get carried away on that light sunshine vibe of the summer wedding.
Yeah, I think that's very much just us, and like I said, we always liked it to be kind of outdoors too. So obviously if it's winter, it's something that would be a bit harder to be outdoors. So we loved the concept of not being on the beach, but have the water. Like, as you said with the engagement story, we're very much water babies too. So we love the water, we love being near the water. So we thought that was quite fitting.
Yeah. And the light is different too. So one is dark and mysterious and evocative, and the other is light and breezy and fun.
Absolutely. So I think the they're the two differences if I was to do a summer or winter wedding.
So wedding planner on the wedding day, the
Yes.
actual day.
Yeah.
What made you choose a wedding to do that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think solely because I just wanted to enjoy the day. I wanted to be present. I wanted not just myself, but my family, the bridal party, just everyone. I just want everyone to have a good time and be relaxed. So the wedding planner was great because I feel like I can just tell them what I want. We sort of have, the liaising a couple of months before, and if they know what I need and where everything needs to be, they can be the ones organising it. I don't need to get myself or any of my family members to go and make sure the flowers are going to be in the church, or flowers are going to be in the reception, or where's the band going to be, where's the music. I didn't want myself or any of my people to be needing to worry about that. So I think the main thing for the wedding planner was just to have a stress-free wedding day and just be present on the day.
What point of your planning did you decide to actually bring on a wedding planner for the day?
Pretty early on, to be honest. I think because already knowing it was going to be a destination wedding, I think within the first 2 weeks, knowing how much is involved in the planning, I sort of thought, okay, whilst it's great to have my family there to help me through the journey, I don't want them to be worrying about it on the day. So very quickly I thought, I'm just going to get one.
And that just alleviates so much pressure from you and everybody involved to know that it's been looked after.
Absolutely. It's the
Smart
main
move. Well done.
Thank you. I want to be enjoying the day.
Wedding booked overseas.
Yeah.
What would be your top tips on planning a wedding overseas?
Yes, I mean, I definitely would suggest overseas. It depends on, I guess, you as a person. Like I wanted to go and see the wedding venue in person, so obviously booked a time to go and see the place. So, but I don't know if you don't have the luxury of going and paying for another flight to go. Definitely FaceTiming is amazing. I think the technology that we have right now is very, very good to be able to liaise with the vendor. So I would definitely say if you're doing an overseas wedding, make sure you're on contact. Emails, WhatsApp and video calls, they've been great. And just staying on top of the communications with everyone. Obviously, if there is even a, language barrier, making sure you have an event coordinator at the venue. So looking things online is always great, but I would definitely be doing some kind of a video call or getting them to even send you videos of the actual place instead of just seeing it on Instagram or in pictures, because it could be very different.
Yeah, it's just doing your due diligence, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And seeing it in different lights and in different aspects. Yeah.
And I think the planner is a very important thing, especially if you're doing it overseas. You'd always be in charge, but it's always good to have someone on the ground to help you.
Yeah, and they're really, I suppose, in many ways, your eyes and ears.
Absolutely.
And then they make the interpretation and come back to you and say, hey, hey team, this is what we found.
Yes. Yeah. So you don't have to do the running around here when really it needs to be over there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're great. All right, so wedding venue is set.
Yes.
Now it's onto the gown.
I know.
And this is
the fun part.
This is the part we all love so much. Thanks for tuning into our podcast today about choosing a venue. We hope that your journey in choosing your venue is smooth and full of lots of good questions and the appropriate answers. But importantly, choose a venue that really resonates with you as a couple. Stay tuned for our next episode, which is all about the gown and choosing the gown. If you did enjoy today's episode, please do click like and the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.